Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Violent Vinyls. Make sure you check out Instagram. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. Make sure you click the like, share, and click that bell. And as always, check out our website as well. Today on Violent Vinyls, we are going to look at the soundtrack to Mandy. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of. There we go. Yes, the soundtrack to Mandy starring Nicolas Cage. Uh, Let me just show you the cover. So, the cover, if you can see it, it says Mandy in like a black metal font on the front, pure black on the back. I don't know if there's any design at all. Inside, we got Nicolas Cage turning into a tiger. And let's see what the vinyl looks like. The vinyl is, as far as I know, the vinyl is, yep. Vinyl is, it's transparent red. And that is the logo that is also on the front. So the soundtrack is done by the late Johnan Johansson. Unfortunately, this is one of his last soundtracks before passing away in 2018. This soundtrack is the best way to describe the soundtrack would be something to sit back, relax, especially with the Mandy love theme. It's just almost want to say ethereal sounding. It's very avant-garde, very trippy, very synth oriented. This whole soundtrack is very synth oriented, almost like in the vibe of like Blade Runner, if you will. Very synth driven soundtrack and very beautiful, very relaxing, and encompasses the artwork that the film is. And if you haven't seen the film, I highly recommend it. I know I said Nicolas Cage, but by far it is one of the best Nicolas Cage films I have personally seen. It's more like an art house film, and that transfers into this soundtrack as well. Where you have, like I said, the Mandy love theme paints, it does sound like a love theme, whereas a song such as Death and Ashes gives off more like a synth future, if you will. This soundtrack also features son of Stephen O'Malley on guitar. And like I said earlier, this is one of Johan's last soundtracks, so he recorded it and everything like that, and then a couple people came in and finished it. Which, by the way, I must point out in case you're wondering what else is inside. It just gives you, the one side just gives you the credits of like who composed and scored this, and on the back it has Panos Cosmatos. I'm not familiar with how you pronounce his name properly, and I hope I'm not butchering it. But the director of Mandy has a really nice write-up of what he remembers most about Johan before his passing away. So definitely pick this album up. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful soundtrack from start to finish. Like, it's very artsy, very synth-driven, like I said, but just a fantastic album. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I mean. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie first, then maybe get the soundtrack, because then you have an idea of what to expect. But nonetheless, this Mandy soundtrack, which I was lucky to find at Shock Stock this year, is phenomenal. So if you get a chance to, I believe Lakeshore Records has it. So if you can, get it. But much like many vinyls, it sells out quickly. So if you see it, get it. If not, wait for it and get it. Like either way, get this soundtrack. Now I know I say that without all soundtracks, but seriously, this album is phenomenal and one that I listen to quite often because it after a rough day, after a bad day, just want to smoke some of that Canadian cannabis that was legal here. Oh, hello, Voodoo. This is my cat Voodoo. He wants to make an appearance. Anyways, that's all that I have to say. Voodoo and I are signing off and telling you to, it's good, everyone. All right, bye bye.